Mother, man.
This is the Grim fucking Reaper, and you're listening to Murder Metal.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
I just want to punch myself in the dick when I hear that.
What's up, motherfuckers? Doing that
on?
Tuesday thing. Bringing in
I just want to punch myself.
episode 91. Yeah, that's just not going to get old, I don't think, anytime soon. That's just too funny. Don't mind my plague doctor mask on CCK over there,
Oh, no,
Chris.
it's all good. I'm not worried.
As you know, there's a pandemic going on around here. We've been on fucking lockdown since Saturday at 5 o'clock.
And yet we congregate to record a podcast.
That's right. Well, they said only essential things, and I'm like,
This is pretty
how
fucking
much more essential does it get than fucking Murder
essential.
Metal Mayhem? So the world has gone fucking nuts, and this is an essential thing. And it's important to a lot of fucking people, including us. So
Fuck yeah, dude. I love
we
this
enjoy
shit.
doing this shit. And despite the stay-home directive from the governor, we are forging the fuck on.
Call
and
me
doing-
an asshole. Say what you want about it, but I haven't been around more than the same couple people for the past fucking weeks anyway. So.
Yeah, so it is kind of nice to get out and actually do
Yeah,
something
fuck.
here.
We got Cashman here.
We do. Guest again tonight, Joey Cashman, Joey Goremonger in here. Good to have you back, Joey.
Yeah,
Only a week ago you were here.
only a week ago.
We kept your seat warm for you, but it was good to have you.
I'm figuring, as weird as it is through this whole pandemic, if it continues, I can probably just be out here. I might be a staple through the fucking end of the times.
Yeah.
Once we get back to normal, then,
Right.
Yeah,
it'll
you'll
be normal. but,
normal work schedule and
Yeah,
stuff.
but for now, I'll come
Yeah,
out.
no, and you're always welcome, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to have you out
last
here.
week doing Mecklenburg with Tex and shit, dude.
Yeah.
How
That
about
was
shit?
awesome, man.
Yep.
Hell
That
yeah,
was
man.
really cool. And Tex dropping that bomb about his, tie with the story.
Yeah,
and
that was fucking.
that was
dude.
really, really cool. So well worth checking that one out. We also had, that story just with those 6 guys escaping from death row was just fucking wild, man. So
The way they pull it off, dude, using the TV as the bomb, I thought was
pretty
like,
smart, man.
I guess it's smart, but how you gonna shake down the
right.
prison and
not
know
find
it's a
something
bomb
of
that
big.
fucking big, dude? Come on,
Right, it's
man.
not like at the tip of a pen or something. It's a
Right.
fucking TV,
Not like grocery or no soup can or some shit.
Right. So we had CK talking about the doom metal band Trouble from Chicago. He stayed on, of course. He's been staying on, Chris, through Mayhem.
Yeah, fucking through Mayhem and the outro, kicking it with us, dude. Fuck
Yeah,
I love that.
it's
shit.
awesome. And stayed on for some Mayhem stories. And Joey had one of your own there, which was funny as hell. And we did week 2 of March Mayhem. Our contest.
Week 3 sounds like it's going to be interesting.
This is going to be really interesting because it's going right down to the wire. We'll explain when we get to the Mayhem segment, but we've got our 3 listeners fighting it out.
It's up
really
for grabs
good
right now.
It
really
is.
good.
It is. Literally anybody can win this thing. We got 2 weeks left. And of course, the grand prize is being a co-host on Murder Metal Mayhem. I mean, how much more of a fucking honor could a listener to the show get than that, being on here with us? It's going to be really cool.
I don't know how honored you feel, Cashman.
Right? And you guys have had a lot of, people on.
Oh, yeah.
Just
no, I hear
with
you.
doing the interviews and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff. So it's definitely it's such an achievable thing. It's cool that other people should be involved.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, with Skype or Messenger, I mean, hell, we could literally have, anybody on here. And we've had a ton of them. We've had, we did that interview with Amanda from Australia. I mean, we've done them all over the world. So it's been really cool. So we just passed 1,000 listens to that one last week. So check out episode 90 if you missed it. It was definitely a good one. Now, last week, Chris, we made a switch. Now, we've got our schedule out a few months out kind of plan for different episodes and weeks where we're going to have a down week or whatever.
Right.
But we made a switch last week, and there was a specific reason, though, Chris, why we did change the topic.
I mean, this whole, like we were talking about, the whole Corona, COVID-19, whatever, the pandemic. So we're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's do something different that Murder Metal Mayhem would do. Change it up and do something dark that goes with the topic. So
yeah, for sure.
we're doing the goddamn Black Death.
Yes.
Like,
a real fucking plague of fucking epic proportions. The Black Death is worthy of Murder Metal Mayhem. Had a couple of listeners say, man, I've been wanting to hear a podcast about the Black Death, and I was looking for one, and then you said you guys were going to do it, and I'm totally fucking excited to hear the way you guys do it. So I'm really excited to do it as well. I think it's going to be a good one. A lot of fucking murder and death. I mean, holy shit.
It ain't just the plague that killing
My
people.
God.
I mean, there's like straight up violence.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very
Burning at the
dark,
stake, fucking
multiple
no good.
years of it, too. I mean, this is just awful. So we're going to get into it, and even though some people might say, well, that's not a very good topic to talk about in the middle of this,
it's like,
to me, it's the perfect time to talk about it because, hey, you might want to put it in perspective, you know?
Yeah, I mean, timing.
Timing is like a great thing.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, you got to talk about it because, otherwise you drive yourself insane. And hopefully, this episode's a good one for some people just to listen to. And
yeah.
See what could happen probably isn't going to happen. But anyway, just like know what it's like for real in the fucking goddamn Middle Ages.
Yeah, I mean, a very, very brutal time. So, killed millions of people in the 17th century. If there's ever been a topic for Murder Metal Mayhem, it's the Black Death. So it's going to be a good one. And we'll put it in perspective with the coronavirus that's going on right now. So I definitely want to dig into this. CK ready to go over there on Wildman Street, Danbury, Connecticut. He's been quarantined for a while now because he's in such a fragile state with his immune system.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's been fighting cancer for, 7 years now? I mean, it's crazy.
It's insane for him to try to go anywhere if it's like that. But
Right.
I mean, I know it's like that with him, but if the things like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's one guy who really does need to be kind of sequestered away, especially being the great metal motherfucker. I mean, nothing can happen to fucking great metal motherfucker. So we're happy to report CK good to go. Talked to him today. Dealing with some metal tonight, though. Perfect band to go along with this episode. Talking about a horrible plague, the band Coroner. Yeah, so perfect fucking call, but CK to do that one. So old school, once again, CK going to do it. So, and the third week of March Mayhem, getting ready to fire up tonight. It's going down to the wire, man. Only 2 matches to go. We've got 2 matches tonight, and then they'll establish the 2 finalists, and then next week it'll be that's it. Tonight we got the Fucked Up 4, though, going at it, Chris.
The Fucked Up 4.
The Fucked Up 4 with Carl Panzram versus Richard Speck. That's an interesting... I mean, anybody going up against Panzram's fucking going to get their ass whipped. But, and fucked.
Literally,
and fucked. Like, get your ass, fucked.
Both.
Like, and he's going to be like, yes, this is what they did to me.
Right. But in this, we're going totally off a random, odd and even temperatures here. So that'll be the deciding factor when we actually do the segment.
You got Eileen Warnos and Albert Fish, like...
How the fuck does Fish keep winning, though? He's won twice. Somehow he's very
a
crafty.
motherfucker.
He is, man. He's crafty. And he's tough, man. He's putting those cotton balls and alcohol up his ass and lighting him on fire.
Light it up.
A groin filled with fucking needles and shit. Dude, he's pretty tough,
So
man.
many needles in
I
his
just
dick.
picture a fucking a video with pictures of Albert Fish and he's crafty, or she's crafty. Beastie
the
Boys
Beastie
playing
Boys.
in the background. If you do a Fish one, I'm sure you will.
We are. We've got it coming up in the 2 years.
Maybe that's your fucking your karaoke.
The
Beastie
Boys.
Boys, she's crafty.
That would
But you
be
can
really.
do he's crafty about Fish.
There you go.
Right?
There you
He's
go.
crafty.
So definitely good luck to our listeners. Justin from Lexington, Illinois, Stephanie from Toledo, Ohio, and Stephen from Chicago. The 3 finalists with the Killer Prize, like we said, co-hosting the show with us. And Chris, they get to pick the segment. We'll give them a list. They can pick whatever they
Who
want.
you want?
And even if they have one that's not on there, we'll listen to it. Hear what they have to say.
Just something.
We might dig it. We can't
like,
promise,
oh, yeah, let's
but
definitely do this.
we're
Fuck yeah.
pretty open to some
Never
interesting
know.
topics here.
I was gonna you guys were talking about it, like, man, you couldn't remember who brought up the Ray and Faye Copeland.
Oh yeah,
And it was me.
Oh, nice.
Whenever we were sitting down one day, and you guys, because we're kicking ideas.
Okay.
But it was funny because I was trying to figure out a way to do it like Michael. Where I was like, motherfucker, I'm the one that fucking told you, I couldn't come up with nothing clever, though, but I kept thinking that whenever he said.
That's
Oh,
funny.
but yeah, exactly. Like
That's
you did.
funny.
with the March Mayhem,
Yeah, the
March
March Mayhem. He go fucking straight
Right.
walks
Yeah.
up to motherfucker, it was me
Yeah.
state. Like,
Yeah.
I want to give credit when credit's due, man. It's
So it
awesome.
was funny. So I was listening to the episode, and the whole time I was like, man, how can I do it like Michael?
Oh, that's funny.
Motherfuckers.
Well, that's the thing. We're all texting each other different topics and
yeah,
ideas
yeah.
over the months. I mean, I'll randomly get a text from one of you guys like, hey, check
Yeah.
this out.
Like, oh,
and then I'll put it on the list and I don't even remember how it got on there. And then I Google like, who the fuck is Ray and Faye?
Yep.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's
Hell
do
yeah.
that.
Right?
So that's why it's
They're
good for
always
these
funny.
listeners to let
Yes,
you.
make suggestions.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
fucking A.
So huge thanks to sponsor spellboundeffectsandart.com. Go check them out, man. What an amazing fucking online catalog. Chris, some of that Ed Gein inspired stuff, man. So sick.
Fuck.
Got our
sick.
lamp here that is so wicked that Tony sent us. And then the forearm with Murder Metal Mayhem carved into it. It's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. Everything he's got's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Got fucking that dick.
Yeah. He's got everything on that site. So go check
I love
it
those
out.
thumb drives.
Yeah, the thumb drives are great. The
What were you
aprons are
talking about?
sick.
I still want the hat.
Cowboy hat.
The reanimator head though.
Yeah,
That would be so
Dude.
fucking cool. You
That
were talking
would.
about that. I was like,
that would
dude.
be cool. Or Sick Rick do a mask.
Yes, or yes,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
Wow.
that'd be really cool. So spellboundeffectsandart.com, the perfect place to go with the global pandemic. I mean, why not go shopping and inspired by what the hell's going on around you? So speaking of that, on a serious note, I would like to reach out to anyone in the audience that's lost their job for a while with all this going on. Email me at pete@murdermetalmayhem.com, and we will give you a free subscription to the Patreon 666 Club, where you'll have VIP access to lots of great content, the podcast earlier than the rest, notes for the show, and more. So you have some free time now with being home, and I know that sucks, and so we thought
Got
maybe
nothing else
this
to
would
do.
help out in a small way. So 6 months of the Patreon on us if you're in that situation. I don't need proof. I just trust that you're going to tell me the truth. And email me at pete@murdermetalmayhem.com, and we'll set you up. All right?
Get on that Patreon life.
That's right.
666.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking cool. Speaking of the coronavirus, wishing Bob Weiss and everybody at Shakers in Milwaukee, they're down for the moment, but hoping that they'll be back soon doing the ghost tours and the drinks and amazing food. So, we love those guys up there, and I've been seeing, obviously they're shut down. And so go support them at hangmantours.com. So when they are back and running, you get up there and check it out.
It breaks my heart. If it was still Capone's place, it'd be open saying "fuck you."
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just kidding. It's fucking around. But,
Of course.
But
All
Yeah.
them ghosts
But-
are
but
fucking sad they ain't got their company
Yeah,
up there.
the
so,
ghosts are probably like freaking
yeah,
out
whenever
too.
they open, go up there because they'll probably
Yeah.
be super active.
Yeah, be all excited.
exactly. Like if they got bored with people for a while, now as
Yeah.
soon as everybody gets back, they're gonna be like,
Damn,
Fuck.
we missed you guys, man.
"We're gonna scare the fuck out of you."
Huge thanks to all you guys out there listening. We do appreciate it. We've got both Dallas and Longview, Texas in our top 10 cities listening, which is really awesome. Dallas is like number 3 now, I think, or number 4. That is awesome. So thanks to everybody checking it out. Continue to see
Fuck
the
yeah,
numbers
guys.
rolling
Hell
in.
yeah.
It's really cool, like the case of the clap in a trailer park.
Plop, plop. I don't know. I live in a park and I ain't got the clap, bro.
That's good. That's good. We got a lot of shit on our plate tonight. Got the granddaddy of all plagues to talk about. The one that started out as bites from fleas and wound up leaving millions of bloated corpses in its wake. We're going back to medieval Europe, Chris, for this slab of sickness, brother.
Yeah, let's get our fucking Black Death on. Ugh.
Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
How about that for a creepy fucking version of Ring Around the Rosies,
it's
man?
pretty creepy, but also at the same time, I could imagine both of my daughters listening to that over and over and over again. And
I could too.
I could imagine them just both walking in with a Bluetooth speaker with that playing while I'm just chilling watching the movie and like, hey, Dad.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
this out.
what the fuck is happening, dude?
And of course, there's a significance of why we played that because of the story we're going to tell. So,
Before
Joey,
that, Holy
still
Terror.
got you in here? Yeah,
yeah.
Holy, that's right.
Holy Terror.
Yeah, the song Black Plague.
Plague.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking old school shit there for sure. I forgot to mention them, so thanks, Chris, for saving that one. So Joey still got you here talking some Black Plague with us.
Yeah.
Should be good. The plague known as the Black Death struck with devastation in Europe and other areas of the world during the 1300s, claiming nearly 200 million lives, depending, of course, on what you read. There were stats all over the place. Record keeping was really bad at that time.
And like we said, well, if that many people died, who knows what got fucked up and lost or whatever.
Right,
anyway.
right. So a slow and agonizing 7 years at least that it's made way literally on the back of black rats along the trade routes of Europe. And we'll be talking about how it started, how it spread, what horrors it brought with it, and how it compares to the pandemic we currently face with the coronavirus. So very interesting time we live in,
Dude.
and a fitting topic to cover.
So, like, I know the jokes have been made before or whatever. Like, if this was going on with my job back in the day, the company would have been fucked. But the way it went, like, we're all good at work or whatever. But also, back in the day, if this had happened, we would have been drinking so many Coronas because that's all we would have bought.
Yeah.
Just because that's the type of sick sense of humor we all had. Just like, fuck it. That's the beer for now. Fuck. So all the people that got freaked out and stopped buying Corona because of the name are stupid.
Yeah, that is pretty dumb. Now, Joey, we might be freaking some people out talking about this topic, but I think people that listen to this podcast probably not so much.
No, I don't think so. And also, like, to be honest, like, this is the first time that everybody in the world's mind's on the same exact thing, I would think.
Like
Sure.
everybody in the world.
Yeah,
really.
everybody. It's fucking crazy. Like,
True.
we're all connected. So anyway, I would personally think that most people have already had whatever thoughts they had in their heads to begin with.
Right.
So if they're going to go in to listen to this podcast, you know, they've already had their fucking thoughts and anything else that we give them. Like,
Right.
if that's what freaks them out, like, holy shit.
Right.
You
True.
know.
True.
Just because we're talking about the Black Death during this. Yeah,
I feel like every
single
single person's freaked themselves out at least a little bit in some aspect.
Oh, sure. But this is on such a different
Yeah,
fucking level.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
Right.
So I'm almost hoping people hear this and go like, it's kind of like when you watch Maury, and you're like, "Wow,
My life ain't
like,
so
I'm
bad."
Not,
Right.
I'm not as fucked up as that chick who's had 47 fucking dudes on here to see who the dad
Yeah.
is."
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
not. I'm not in that fucking league. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself. So maybe you watch fucking or hear this episode on the
Right.
Black Death and think like, "Damn, this isn't really that bad." you
Right,
know?
yeah.
It's a shitty thing to say,
It is.
like, well, that, but also because I'm saying, like, whenever I go to Vegas, it's fucked up. I go out there and I see people, and I'm like, okay, that's how bad life can really fucking be.
Oh, sure.
And I get more of an appreciation and go home like,
Right.
you know, that's fucked up to say that because I'm not trying to fucking thrive off somebody else's misery. But, you know, whenever you have a lot of your own fucking issues, it's nice to be able to kind of walk away from it a little
right.
bit.
Yeah.
No, I agree, dude. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, the whole concept seems crazy, and while we are, you know, all about doing controversial topics just at the right time, we thought this was legit. And so, you know, I know that the media hypes things up, you know, but the question is, you know, is this a legit thing, or are they just scaring people to sell the news or distract us from something else, which would be even worse? And I don't want to get...
Yeah, I'm not trying to get political or nothing like that.
not at all.
I'm
I was
not
just
trying
gonna
to say
say
it's not legit. I'm just saying...
No. Yeah, we just let
wanted
you
to talk
guys
about
decide.
this.
Yeah.
No, the only thing that's a fact is that none of us have really no clue what really is going on.
That is
Right.
a
You know,
fact.
Sure.
we're just going by what we heard, see, you know.
Right.
And,
Yeah, I mean, there's
which
not
is
much
fine,
else
'cause
you
that's
could
all we
do,
can
really.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure, you know, we'll get into this during the metal segment, but there was just news yesterday about the Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel tour
Yeah,
over
I
in
see
Europe.
Yep.
I was talking to CK briefly about it today, and he's definitely going to get into it when he talks in the metal segment, so we'll wait for that. But, you know, high-profile people, you know, celebrities, people that, you know, have name recognition, that kind of tends to hit a nerve because you're like, holy shit, like everybody can fucking get this thing, you know? So it makes it more legit, I think, and puts people on edge. So hopefully if you are that way, you know, you can relax a little bit, have some fun. Because, you know, it's a fun, goofy podcast, so just do dark humor. But, you know, we're just meant to, you know, entertain. We're not here to, you know,
I ain't taking sides
get
of
your
shit.
thesis or something like that. So I couldn't imagine Joey being a band on tour right now. With
That's why there's no bands on tour.
That's what
right
I'm
now.
saying. I mean, my God.
It's
I mean,
fucking, it would be so pointless right now.
yeah, there'd be nowhere to go.
Like I said last week, you know, the last show I went to was Daytonian Death Fest, and it's like, this has been going on for
Right.
a while now, and you watch it week by week. But even back then, I saw the effect. Like, that show would have been way more filled up, and it just wasn't because of what was going on.
Right.
And, you know, it was still kind of earlier stages, and we were making jokes, and people were walking in, like, throwing around hand sanitizer, you know.
Right.
But in all reality, now them same motherfuckers are like, yo, I need that shit from the store, and I can't find
Right,
it.
yeah, I
Right.
can't even find
And
it.
they're
Yeah.
taking it a lot more serious. I mean, even me, myself, you know, like, you get a little more serious about it because you just find
Because
yourself.
what if it does happen
Yeah.
and now it's gone
Yeah.
because I didn't give a fuck?
I'm obviously in this
Right.
room with some other people, not stuck in my house like I could be because I'm not that much fear of it myself. But it's something that's to be taken serious, obviously.
Yeah, I agree. Now, not to sound all educated or anything here, you know,
I'm
like,
educated.
have a goofy fucking podcast.
I know exactly what I'm
But we
talking
do
about.
need to talk about some science to intelligently discuss the topic of the Black Death.
Science,
The-
isn't that those things we shoot? Science?
Something like that. Now, the bacteria, this is where we sound all high class here. Yersinia pestis was to blame for starting all this insanity. It's also known as Y. pestis. It spreads the plague through fleas that live on these black rats. There's three kinds of plague I've learned here, Chris. You
Yeah.
got the septicemic, which is a
Yep.
tongue twister, pneumonic,
That's a good band.
and the last one there, the one that we're probably going to spend the most time on tonight,
Yeah, the bubonic.
bubonic, which is very brutal. They're all terrible. The Black Death was the second of the three major plagues. The first was the plague of Justinian in 541 AD, and then the third pandemic was in 1855. So all of them were fucking awful and could be an episode of their own, but we're just concentrating tonight on the Black Death. So
Right. Were you going to say something, Cashman?
No.
Oh, fuck. Don't look at me like that, dude.
I mean, the only thing you were saying, you know, brutal band. And I was like, well, Septicemic, I did just see them play.
Right.
And they played HOI, so that was
That's
pretty
what I was
cool.
saying. Septicemic.
Yeah.
Play,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Now, Chris, it doesn't get much more metal than talking about the Black Death. Definitely a brutal fucking topic to cover.
I mean, it's Black Death metal.
Right.
I mean, shit. I mean, it's a great topic. What the fuck just happened?
So just so we're straight, the Black Death is also known as the bubonic plague, pestilence, the Great Plague, and just the plague. So also the pandemic formerly known as the plague, I think, and then a symbol,
Right.
you know, like Prince did, you know, the symbol thing.
What the fuck, dude?
It's the one that we commonly think of when we think of the plague that wiped out half of Europe a very long fucking time ago. So when you think
The
of plague,
symbol.
this is the one
Yeah.
that you think of. All the names, I was just thinking of Prince when he was doing that stupid shit.
No,
you
no,
know?
I know what you're talking about. But that was just funny. It's just like, you know, the symbol, like Prince. Like, all right, so
Hey, that's not in the script. Hey, where the fuck you going, huh?
Pete gonna be Prince.
Now, the date of when the plague started can be difficult to pinpoint. Sources varied on when they say it all began, but it is believed to have originated in Central or East Asia and reached Crimea in the 1340s.
It's like the Mongolians and shit.
Dude, this is some harsh fucking shit here.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 or 3 dates in the 1340s, so nothing is consistent. Now, Crimea is thought of to be part of today is thought of to be part of the Ukraine, and it's a peninsula that is surrounded by the Black Sea. And it is
That's
believed
where
that
the Black Plague came from.
Yeah,
the Black
exactly.
The Black Sea.
That's
like,
right. It's believed the plague came along what we know of as the Silk Road, which was a major trade route that connected the East and West. So, you know, major goods coming across there. Of course, the silk industry was a huge money maker, and that's how it gets its name. But there was all sorts of stuff that they brought along. There are probably some Goremonger CDs,
Yeah,
I'm
That
thinking.
I'm
was
sure.
probably Goremonger.
I'm thinking so.
Yeah, no, but like you said, lots of stuff like the blankets and everything play a factor into it.
Oh, yeah.
Not just silk, but anything they brought with them that
Yeah.
was material, and then animals, anything.
Right.
Well, and then fucking rats just lived on them fucking boats and
Oh,
on the
yeah.
sea, so they're
I
like,
mean-
oh yeah, we'll go over here.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
shit.
Oh, here we are now.
The,
Fuck
the
you.
rat epidemic was just out of control. And so this would have, you know, been 300 years before the United States was even a thing. Just to put this in perspective to our listeners that are trying to visualize 1340, whatever. Like, fuck, that's a
1340.
long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
And it is odd that the current pandemic we're dealing with now, the coronavirus, also is thought of to have started in China. So definitely interesting of why these things seem to originate there. I'm
It was
not sure.
Mongolia.
Yeah.
Goddamn Mongolia, tear down my shitty wall.
Now, as we mentioned, the bacteria that started all the bullshit, as we mentioned, Y. pestis, is a bacterium that can infect humans through the oriental flea, or the fleas known to be on the black rats. Black rats were very common, as you mentioned, Joey, on ships.
Yeah.
So in all these ports, Chris, along
just
that trade
jump off
route,
the
they're
damn-
fucking
yeah, they
on and
just-
off this shit, just out of control. Rats were a huge problem, you know, and there was a dry period in Asia's history. So these rats were fleeing Asia and making their way to Europe and hopping on these fucking ships because they had food, they had shelter, they had water,
Rats
they
know how
had
to
really everything they needed
A
on there.
rat knows how to find shit too.
Oh, yeah, very
Like,
fucking
I can
smart.
smell that, and especially when you got a pack of them, and that was no good.
No, not at all. And they're claiming the coronavirus has, you know, the ability to change, just like, you know, when they can be bubonic and then move into the pneumonic from being, you know, from flea transfer to human or rat to human,
Right.
human to human, which is like really fucked up. And then it just went crazy. So these diseases that can change like that are very frightening. And the coronavirus does, from what I've read, has the ability,
The ability
to
to
change
do
and
that,
mutate.
right.
So now, Joey, I can't imagine dealing with something of this magnitude, let alone, you know, back in the fucking 1300s, man.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
There was, like you said, I mean, you put it in perspective, it was 300 years before the United States was founded. And obviously, we know that there was such a smaller population on the earth of humans back then.
Right.
So it would be interesting to see what percent was taken out by the Black Plague, because 200 million people is a lot if
Right.
There's not that.
Sure.
You know.
Like
That's a
records,
good point.
like if the United States wasn't a known thing, and there's no records before that.
Right.
Right. Yeah,
the
that
whole
would be
world.
interesting to know that. 'Cause,
Right.
yeah, that's true. It's hard to put that in perspective with a completely different size of population and much more spread out
Yeah.
than we are today. So, which is one of the reasons it didn't
Right.
go any further. Because if it was like it was today, we probably all would be fucking dead.
I mean,
It'd be like The Walking Dead, like legit.
we'll
you
get
know?
into all
Except
that shit, I'm sure, but obviously you wouldn't think, because obviously if anything the last couple weeks taught us, we don't know what to expect.
Right.
But you wouldn't think like back then they would just fucking have the bodies piled up, like
Yeah.
with the diseases festering. So
Right.
how much of that was brought kind of on, you know, not watching out, which is what everybody's stressing now with us.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, very bad hygiene. I've seen, that it killed as many as 40 to as high as 60% of Europe's population.
Damn, that's fucking crazy.
Killed a lot of people, millions of
The
people.
lowest number I heard, I think, was 200, and I think the biggest number I heard was like 7 million.
Wow.
So, like, if I remember right, the different things, documentaries I watched and shit I read and shit.
Yeah.
But there was always a discrepancy. Like nobody
Right.
knows.
Yeah, it's hard
Nobody
to really
knows.
pinpoint it. There were accounts of entire Asian villages wiped out by the plague. So a lot of people don't talk about Asia as having, because they was, with this one at least, they talk about the Black
Italy.
Death, they talk about Europe. But actually, it started in Asia, and there were a lot of fucking people, millions of people that died there. Some even estimate, it could be as many people as died in Europe because they live so close together, which is one of the reasons why I think a lot of this stuff starts there, is you get so many people in such a concentrated, in the cities at least. And I did see it took Europe 200 years to get their population back to where it was before the Black Death came to town. So fucking crazy. Crazy.
It tells you how many people it actually took.
Yeah.
Between the plague and the fucking murders and
Yeah, it was just total mayhem going on while this was happening. Some European towns were decimated with death rates at 75%, some higher than 90. Reports out of Africa claim the plague devastated them as well, big numbers like Europe. So, I mean, again, you just don't almost know where the fucking this thing ends, because if you're talking about Europe as 100 million, I mean, you're talking Asia and Africa too. I mean, it could definitely have reached 200, 300 million. It's unbelievable. And to compare that to, like you said, Joey, the population at the time, obviously much less than it is today. So definitely some seriously scary shit. Now,
Was this back in the time? I don't know. This is why I'm asking. Was this back in the times where if you had a headache, they'd fucking drill into your head or
like
fucking
lobotomy?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
shit?
So were some of these people suffering from a flu that maybe they could have got, healed from, but their medical expertise was like, oh no, we'll do this.
We'll do this and that'll help you, and that fucked you up.
they
curious
did a
about
lot
that.
of really kooky stuff for the plague, so I
Right.
wouldn't doubt that they were doing crazy shit like that, because we're going to talk about some of the things that they did just outright fucking crazy.
Well, like, of course, the disease killed a certain percent, but I wonder how many more might have been added to
Oh,
that just because, their practices at the time.
it's just so barbaric.
The tests that on people.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I'm having hot and cold flashes. Here, let's cut your neck out real fast. And
Right.
See what happens. You might have
trying to
fucking-
drown a witch to see if it's a
Right,
witch,
yeah.
that kind of shit. So,
That worked.
If we light you on fire and you start, you are a homosexual.
I know, it's ridiculous. Now, plague is the main term for the disease, but there are 3 different types, as we mentioned, but the way you get them is not the same. We talked about the septicemic, which is the least common of the 3, large purple patches showing up on the skin, high fever. Pneumonic is the second one, spreads by breathing it in, like if somebody coughs or sneezes.
That's bad.
And that's, and the one that's carried on the rats and the fleas is that bubonic plague, Chris. And that's the most common one that we've seen show up. So it's still around. That's what's fucked up in very small areas, patches of it.
Yeah, and it can. There's also I've heard some shit that it can lay dormant in certain like places,
Oh wow.
but not on people. But it's just could be a spot, and if somebody ran into it, it'd be like, oh, well, here we go
Starting that
again.
shit up again. And that's, the nasty black boils on their neck and armpits and groin. I mean, fucking awful.
on the lymph nodes.
And yeah, and fucking their extremities dying and fucking turning black. For our uneducated listeners, that would be your fingers and toes. All right. So Chris, none of these sounds like a good fucking time. I mean, none of this sounds like a fun time at all to be had with this Black Death going on. Would you not agree with that?
Oh no, I'm done with that. Like that, it sounds bad. I know it's a reenactment on fucking the documentaries I watched, but if it was anything like that, what they were showing as far as the boils on their necks, and they said they got them on their groin and everything else too. Like, so I'm looking at this and they're just
not good,
sweating and just,
yeah,
it's never fucking good. So definitely not a fan of that. I would not want it.
Not at all. No, I agree. I can't even imagine. All right. Now, one thing I did see on the documentaries and read a few articles online was that a siege of the city of Kaffa, which is part of Crimea we were talking about.
The Mongols.
And that's when this shit gets off the hook. Now, I get very confused with stories where there's lots of different places. I feel like I'm watching like Lord of the fucking Rings or something. I just get really confused.
Like, is this Game of Thrones?
Yeah, what the hell is going on? Yeah, I tried to read Game of Thrones and it made my head fucking hurt. Anyway, a descendant of Genghis Khan, this dude's named Janny Beg. When they were saying it on the documentary, I was trying to write it down. I'm like, what is he saying? And it sounded like a one-word name, like
J-Bang?
Beyonce or something.
Yeah, like J-Bang?
Yeah, so I'm like, what is he saying? And then when I was doing the research, I'm like, okay, that's his fucking name. But very odd. Janny Beg. Very weird.
J-Bang.
And they said that on the doc, I just was completely fucking floored. He was leading a siege as part of the Mongol army, and he takes this shit to a whole different fucking level because he's got soldiers, Chris, dying of this fucking sickness, the Black Death. So what does he decide to do with the bodies, dude?
He during the siege, they're losing the battle, so he takes these dying bodies and throws them on the catapult, launches them over the wall.
Yeah,
fucking motherfucking English, the English, right?
Well, it was Kaffa. I don't know who owned, or I don't know who.
But yeah, no,
was in control of the city. But
when I was fucking checking all that documentary, I was like, these niggas, these motherfuckers be doing chemical or biological warfare.
Yeah, hardcore.
Right now, dude.
They were flinging him with a trebuchet. They say you could get it 1,000 fucking yards with one of those fucking. Could you imagine bodies flying through the air 1,000 yards into your wall? Just like one after the other, man.
Being sick and dying and flying through the air, like, God damn it.
Right.
Yeah, you're not even dead yet. Yeah. You're like, well, you're fucked and throw you on there.
But that's just so fucked up. So 1347, the first biological attack, the Mongols attacking the city of Kaffa. We talked about this. And that's really where they think it really got started because these fucking people were freaking the fuck out because
I see what is happening to my people.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fuck your people.
Right? I mean, that's scary. That's like we talked about Vlad the Impaler with that Forest of the Impaled and the other armies. Like, fuck,
I am not dealing with this shit.
I can't do this. Nope. Not today. So haven't had enough coffee today to deal with this motherfucker.
Nope.
So
luckily, that's an essential thing. You can go get it right now during the virus.
Oh, coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I see people that work at Starbucks shit like they're still open and shit like.
Oh, that's funny.
For all like the nurses and stuff.
Oh, sure,
man.
So these trebuchets, we had Mike Stoltz in here of Stoltzcraft, also known as the Sexy Bearded Handyman.
Right.
He built one of those motherfuckers. It was like 10 feet tall. He brought it to Wes's house. And we were fucking throwing rocks with this motherfucker like 100 yards. It was fucking crazy. Stoltz is pretty fucking smart with shit like that. He's very, very handy, which is the Sexy Bearded Handyman. Anyway,
is that who did the box you got for me?
Yeah, Mike and Stephanie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Very cool. So the Mongols are able to hurl these bodies, 10 fucking football fields raining down one after another. But these people inside the walls, you know, not only is it disgusting because they're dead bodies and they stink because of this fucking horrible sickness, but then, Chris, they start getting sick.
Yeah.
And now
it's spread. They don't know they're getting sick.
It gets on, but they start showing signs here in the next few days, and then
people
it's
are
out of
checking out
hand.
like, why are they sick? So that goes. It spreads really fucking quick.
Yeah.
I wonder if they hit anybody with any of the bodies they fucking shot over.
Oh, I would think
the motherfucker like, what? Holy shit.
Yeah, that would be fucked, especially if it was still alive.
Yeah. They're like, got him. Fuck yeah.
Now, Joey, that's about as brutal as it gets. I mean, how scary is this shit,
no,
dude?
that's fucking scary. Like,
I mean, you know, what we're dealing with is nothing compared to this kind of crazy shit. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh no, dude.
So
This shit, if it gets crazy like it did there, the government's gonna do here about what they did there.
right. Now, these traders that are along this trade route that were actually in that port there at Kaffa fled in fucking terror, you know, at this whole thing going on. They want to get the fuck out of town. So they jump on their ships and they take off.
with the plague.
But they bring the fucking plague
Yeah,
with
it's
them.
already with them. It's right there. It's behind them, on them.
I found it interesting that there was an article I found that they believe 12 ship galleys, so basically cooks,
Yeah.
were the ones that took it with them to Sicily. And then the same 12 would go to Venice, Genoa, and
Right.
Marseilles in France. And along that Silk Road and just carrying that shit with them. And if everywhere they went, they're infecting all these people. Of course, they die, you know, within a week or two.
Right.
But they spread that fucking shit pretty far. Just those 12 guys, kind of fucked up. Imagine if you were like a descendant
I mean, I
of one
don't
of
think
them.
it was just those 12 guys. Though,
No,
because
but
once
they
were
kinda
in
got it
port, they
started.
No, yeah. But no, yeah, definitely got it started. When they, when the boats would just start coming into the port, dude, like, they'd
Oh,
walk
yeah.
in like, oh, shit.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah, but I don't know. It would suck.
yeah. I mean, because it's a major port, so like you said, you have other ships after he left that would have been getting infected and
Right.
taking it on too. So it was just spreading so fucking quickly. Once infected with this bacterium, it doesn't take that long for the shit to set in.
It was like a couple days.
Yeah, if that, depending on which one it was. And the bubonic plague, the victim would start out with the nasty, painful boils on their neck, armpit, or groin. Definitely would fucking hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Yeesh. Like
Like I said,
baseball
it's-
size,
Exactly,
dude.
especially if
God
it's like
damn.
that. I would not want that.
That's not good on my junk. No.
No.
They were extremely painful, oozed pus, and then this is
Secretion.
followed by fever and vomiting blood. So it's not getting any better. This would continue a painful, brutal death about 7 days later. So pretty
Their lungs
harsh.
basically got flooded like pneumonia.
I think that was with the pneumonic plague, which is more of a lung.
Right, okay.
So the Black Death, of course, eventually shifts into the pneumonic plague, was contagious from human to human if they breathed it in from an airborne, and that's when it gets into the lungs and causes like a respiratory illness and eventually failure. But very quick, I think even quicker than 7 days, had to be fucking awful. Not to only go through it yourself, but to see, you know, loved ones and friends suffering like that
And
would just
so
be
many,
terrible.
So many of them in
Oh my
one
God,
day.
yeah.
Like the number of people going
Well,
in
think,
a day.
40 to 60% of the population, dude. That's like almost one in, you know, half of the.
Yeah.
It's about half if you cut it in the middle.
Dude, yeah.
So think of half of your friends and family just wiped out, man. That's
Yeah, they were getting
That's
like
crazy, man.
They were getting insisted like what 600 people a day dying and shit.
I
Like,
wouldn't doubt it. I
It
wouldn't
was
doubt it.
fucking ridiculous.
No, it was crazy. I don't even know how, you know, people endure it, but you know, when you're in the middle of something like that, you know, you just find a way to persevere. I know CK has talked about it when he talks about his cancer fight. I know I went through it, not nearly what CK has gone through, but and I had people say, you know, I don't know how you do it. You know, I don't know how well, it's like, well, what else are you going to do? So, I mean, if you're in this situation, in this horrible fucking deal, I mean, all you could do is survive. I mean, everybody's
exactly.
going
That's
to
all
try
you
to
gotta do is
survive,
survive.
you know. So, as crazy as it sounds, I mean, we would find a way to survive or perish. I mean, you'd have two options, you know. Now, hundreds of years later, in the late 1800s, the scientists figured out a way that the fleas were transmitting that Y. pestis, and once infected, it would affect the flea's digestive system, which would cause them to vomit. So while they're feeding on their victim or their host, they would actually vomit, and the vomit would contain the fucking bacterium, and that's how they passed it.
Flies vomit on you every time they land on you. So, I mean,
Yeah. I guess
now
a flea wouldn't be
a
much
flea's
different.
biting a hole in your arm and
Puking
vomiting
into
on
it,
you.
yeah. So nothing good can come of fleas puking on the back
No.
of some filthy fucking rat. So in the 1300s, not much in the way of medicine, no real doctors, but a bunch of crazy motherfuckers. We were talking about this earlier, Joey. They tried all sorts of weird stuff, like making the patient drink their own urine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
that's
what
funny.
that one's going to do.
Come buy my elixirs.
The rubbing the human feces on the boils and also putting
saw
them
that.
into the boils,
Yeah, they
too.
were like dried
lancing
human
them and
feces
shoving
mixing
them
it
in
with
there.
different herbs or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like, ew.
Fucking nasty, man.
That's great.
As if you didn't stink and feel bad enough. They're rubbing
Right,
poop
yeah.
all over you.
Did you see that picture of them dudes like trying to fight off coronavirus by bathing in the feces tubs and shit?
No.
Like feces baths or whatever.
Oh, my God.
Like, I don't know, like cow shit or some shit. But yeah, they're all just like sitting in it like, all right, that's how you're not going
That's
to
how
get
you're
corona.
doing it.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Good luck getting fucking something from that, you know? Some nasty fucking
Yeah.
infection from that.
Yeah.
Great. Now we got fucking mad cow disease all over again.
Oh, hold up. Well, y'all can keep talking for me.
All right, cool.
In the 1300s, though, Chris, there's not much in the way of medicine.
No,
so
there's
we've got,
definitely not, dude.
not anything anybody can do. Nothing's going to work. These doctors
Not
don't know
even the
what the
poop.
fuck they're doing. The poop's not
The
working.
poop ain't working. Grinding it up.
And those fucking plague doctor masks are fucked up, dude. I don't know what it is about them that I find really freaky.
It looks like a damn goddamn vulture. That's why I like them. It's like a fucking death metal vulture.
And that's why I got that one that I got on CCK. I actually bought it when I wrote the story October House, which
Right.
has a plague doctor in it. I'm just fascinated with how eerie that is. I mean, imagine you're like on your deathbed.
And that's what you fucking see.
And that motherfucker's standing over you like, what the fuck?
Am I going to hell?
And I wondered if fucking Slipknot got the idea for their masks from that, and they did. I Googled it, and they did. That's what they had said in an interview.
Nice.
So I thought that it would almost had to have the way they looked to me. But the thing with the beak was it provided a buffer
Yeah, they
between
like
the
pack it
doctor
with
and
rags and
patient.
shit.
And they would put herbs or
Yeah,
flowers
that's what it was. Herbs and flowers.
to help guide or disguise the smell.
smell.
So it was a twofold for the smell as well as keeping a little bit of a distance. So very, very interesting. So if you've ever seen those masks, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The beak, like you said, Chris, like a vulture.
Like a fucking death metal vulture.
Now, Joey, do those masks kind of freak you out? I mean, I know people have things like clowns or
Yeah.
whatever, but what do you think about that?
No, that doesn't really freak me out. It reminds me more like steampunk stuff, just because of the generation I grew up in. But I think they're cool. Like as far as an artist, I like draw them and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say, just because I was kind of rude there for a minute, and it might have sounded weird on the thing, but we're doing the podcast and we do this live. But here in the middle of this pandemic, I just got a call from work, so I had to take that.
Okay.
Because I'm off being paid, but as they're keeping us updated, so
Okay.
that's a
just
work
to let
call. You
everybody
take
know
work calls.
that would never that was
Oh,
rude.
no,
but-
dude. No, not
you're
at
straight-
all.
I wasn't even worried about
Not at
that's
all,
definitely
man.
fucking
No,
important.
I figured it was important.
No, I
Yeah.
sat there.
yeah.
I sat there for a second, and I saw it was working. I was like, "Oh, but I'm doing a podcast." I was like, "Oh, hold up, I should take this though."
right.
No, that's smart. That's smart.
So anyway, yes, back to the Black Death.
Yeah. So there's this documentary I saw where a modern scientist looked into those who survived the Black Death, and what it was apparently their genetics, Joey, made the plague not bother them, which is crazy. It was some sort of mutation in their genes that made them immune to it. And so nowadays they're trying to replicate that in the form of medicine in these areas where the plague shows up, because it still does actually exist.
Right.
But isn't that kind of cool, though, how they figure that shit out?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, to be honest, who am I to know? But I would feel like we would see kind of the same thing with the coronavirus. I'm
Right.
sure that there's probably some people with genetic makeup that's, not quite as susceptible to the symptoms and such.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think that's probably what they'll eventually find with this one. The country of Poland, I thought, was very interesting, had a much lower death rate from the plague in comparison to the rest of Europe. Poland must have had, maybe some people with that mutation or something kind of like that, because it was really weird. If you look at maps that shows Europe, Joey, of where it struck, Poland is almost completely left out of it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
With everything surrounding it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really odd. But also, I did read that they closed their borders when it started, which is obviously going to help.
Yeah.
And they had a much smaller, less densely packed population than the rest of the bigger cities.
I mean, I've seen that on a little bit of a scale here with this pandemic too. Like Czech Republic closed all their borders to everyone, and it sucks, but containment of your country.
No, it's smart.
It
I
makes
mean,
sense,
that's the way it should be, really.
Yeah.
That's probably what, one of the reasons why it's spread the way it has.
Yeah.
Is because we haven't done that.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, we talked about the escalation of population in the world, of course, compared to the bubonic plague, but we were talking about how it, went along that Silk River. Was it
Silk Road.
Silk Road. And now we got fucking airport. I mean, we're flying across the fucking seas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they
at
couldn't
such
do
a
that.
fast rate, and there's cars, so like you're fucking bringing shit all over the place and fucking in hours.
Yeah, and there's people going places that other people have never been before, and then coming back to a civilized place.
Right.
Like, who knows what the fuck?
Well, yeah.
It could be a little like smaller than a flea, something there. Just like next thing you know, boom.
Right.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's fucked up. Now, another thing that caused the plague to spread was the horrible living conditions in a lot of these cities. These people were so close together, which is, maybe why this shit always seems to originate in China, as I mentioned. A country with a huge population and very, very crowded cities.
And then it shows up at the biggest cities in Italy.
Yeah. And the sanitation was absolutely awful, where they just fucking shit in buckets and dump it out on the street.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
So
Wait, hold on. People don't do that no more?
no, Chris, that's not in fashion anymore.
Fuck. I've been
Was
doing it
that
all,
you the other night doing that?
I've been doing it all wrong, bro.
So a breeding ground for disease.
I thought I had upgraded from paper sacks.
I mean, I guess as long as you're not digging holes and jerking off on it after you put it in there.
Yeah, right? Which would be a reason why that rat problem was just out of hand. All this shit and piss. I mean, just nasty. Now, Chris, when you hear about the Black Death, it makes the coronavirus seem pretty tame, with a death rate of barely 1%, depending, of course, on what you read.
Right. Now, I don't want to sound like a dick. Yeah, it's pretty fucking tame compared to the fucking what Black Death was.
Sure, but it's still legit. Like Joey said,
but at the same time, it's a legit thing, and I don't feel like doing certain things to protect yourself and other people are a bad thing. But comparatively, it ain't nothing, dude. Like, imagine, like, tomorrow, if you got a family of 5, next thing you know, you and your sister or brother or whatever are the only ones left.
Right.
Like, just like that.
Right.
Like, so I'm just putting it in that perspective.
Plus, you gotta figure, dude, I just got a phone call from a multi-billion-dollar company being like, hey, everything's done and we're going to pay you while everything's stopped. So if companies can just, it's got to be serious for that shit to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's what's so weird is a week, 2 weeks ago, never in my mind could I have believed that the world could just shut off the way it did. Like, that don't happen. There's no fucking way these companies are just stop, And nope, it did.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
The day the earth stood still.
Now
everybody keeps saying it, waiting for the purge siren and shit.
Right. Now, the plague is still around today, as crazy as it seems. The death rate of the bubonic plague is left untreated is about 80%, and the patient dies in 7 or 8 days. With modern medicine, only 11% die from it, so it's still not, foolproof, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, something as quick moving as that.
Yeah, you'd have to get to medical attention like quick.
Immediately, yeah. That, like as
Also,
fast as it
though,
goes through your body and just like says,
there's not many cases of it,
Right,
not so
right.
many. 11% ain't a great percent. I don't
No.
want that.
No,
not at all.
11% is not a great percent.
No.
I mean, 1%.
Yeah, when I went through cancer, they gave me 50-50 odds I
Right.
would live through the treatment.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
whoa,
this is
those
great.
aren't that great. I don't like that too
No.
much, Yeah, it was fucked up,
Man,
those
granted,
3
yeah,
months.
it's better than 60-40, but still,
Yeah,
I'm looking for something.
that was a
little
rough
better,
3
bro.
months, man. That's for sure. The pneumonic plague has a mortality rate of 90 to 95%, and the rarest of them all, the septicemic, kills nearly 100% it comes in contact with. So absolutely fucking wicked. This version of the plague kills the quickest, usually in a day or two. So very nasty, very quick, and so definitely
Sounds like what septicemic music sounds like.
Right,
Very
yeah.
nasty and very quick.
Yep. Good choice.
Now, there's a lot of statistics. I had asked Jenny to do some research to see what she could find. There's a lot of stuff out there because, how does this compare? We talked about the 1% mortality rate with the coronavirus as compared to, 70, 80, almost 100% in some places with the plague. But, there's been so many different ones. You talk about AIDS, Ebola, SARS,
It was,
all these different, the swine flu, which is the one they keep talking about. Or no, what was the one in 1918? Not the swine flu.
I don't remember.
It was a flu in 1918, and they keep using it to compare what's going on now because cities, Philadelphia dealt with it where they just kind of let people do what they wanted, and St. Louis kept everything shut down, and
it
there was
made a
the death
difference.
rates were huge from one to the other. So, you've got this the Spanish flu. That's what it was. So yeah, and there's a lot of.
Son of a
Why-
bitch, I was just looking it up. Pandemic influenza. Spanish flu.
Yeah, so there's
Wait,
been
why'd
some
you-
nasty ones. I mean, that Spanish flu, there were a lot of people that died from that. And I think they said that even the regular flu, 36,000 people a year die from the flu. So, I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't be using good common sense and washing hands and keeping yourself, away from others in mass groups while they figure this thing out. But I think with the media being 24/7 and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and people fucking locked into that shit 24/7, they are plugged in and that's all they're hearing about and they're freaking themselves out. That's my personal
I totally
take.
feel that. That's all that's on the media is like
Yeah.
fucking Corona,
Yeah.
COVID-19.
You need to watch fucking Tiger. What the fuck's his Tiger? What's
Oh yeah,
Tiger
Tiger King on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean,
God, that shit
you
is
want to
so
get
nuts.
away from this shit? Go watch some fucking Tiger King because that is fucking crazy.
damn
I was
On
like that
Netflix.
motherfucker Corey Feldman was about to fucking disclose all them pedophiles. They shut him down,
What?
create this fucking plague, and now I'm gonna be the first one to say that Corey Feldman didn't kill himself because that's what I feel is gonna
Oh,
happen
damn.
before all this is done.
Oh wow!
No, oh you didn't know?
I didn't know.
He had a
Oh, he had a whole fucking thing coming out.
yeah,
like
it was
movie-
supposed to come out like on streaming. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? And he was gonna give up some names of you
like
know.
Like
pedophiles
people
too,
we
like-
would know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, something happened. Everybody's like they had to buy tickets to watch it and shit, and fucking all of a sudden it got pulled, and
Really?
nobody saw shit, and fucking there was like a whole bunch of fucking conspiracies about that, and then
Oh,
this
wow.
started happening.
this
So
started
I was
happening.
like, they were like, we don't want our whole world pedophile ring exposed.
Yeah, the entire fucking world. Yeah.
No,
That's
that shit was
fucked up.
fucking weird though.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. So yeah, I mean it's crazy when you think of things in comparison to others, but every time is different. 1918, certainly, was a horrible event, and all these different ones over the years. Ebola was only a few years ago, and that was scary. People wanting to shut, flights down and so forth. So I think everything is relative when it affects you. And, now this is going on, everybody's dealing with this with their job, with, not being able to do stuff you want to do, going to shows, doing that kind of stuff. So that's why I think podcasts are a great thing, because, you can listen to that anytime. And so there's so many good ones out there, and you can just go crazy, researching and learning about different things. You could listen to comedy, horror, whatever the fuck you want.
All kinds of shit.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. So now the research I did for this one was done with several documentaries that I saw.
Lots of documentaries and a couple of podcasts and whatnot.
There's a lot of content out there, obviously, on something like this. There was a really good one I watched on Amazon Prime. There was one I watched that talked specifically about how London dealt with it, which was kind of interesting.
I watched that one.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was insane, dude.
Yeah, it's fucked up. The podcast, there's a few that I liked out there that I heard. The really good one, though, of course, Time Suck by Dan Cummins, really fucking awesome. He's just so good. I very seldom don't like the topics he covers. There's some that don't interest me much, and I don't listen.
Yeah, I'm the same way with a lot of things I listen to. Like, whatever, I don't care.
Right. But he's just so funny, very informative and very funny. So if you like the topic or this interests you, go check that out. Would be one that I would personally recommend. Chris, you anything beyond that?
Basically, like I said, was same shit.
Yeah, Joey, I know you were not really probably planning to come in here, but I know you know probably a lot about the subject in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's, a more studied one, I guess, and one that we've been told about since we were younger.
Yeah, for sure.
My research comes from reading The Stand.
Yes.
And of course, that Ring Around the Rosies thing was supposedly a song, like a nursery rhyme that derived from the plague, because the rosy, the skin would break out into those different sores and stuff. Yeah, so
putting the
kind
posy
of
in the pocket
creepy
to make it not smell so bad.
Yeah. So definitely very creepy that is where it comes from, to think of that song being one that little kids sing still today, but yet it has to do with this,
it has that scary feeling to it, like, oh shit.
And that's why that one I found was just creepy,
perfect,
definitely eerie. So very, very interesting. And I'm glad we covered this one, especially with everything going on. So again, use good common sense, everybody, be smart about it. And hopefully this thing will be over with before we know it. We can get back to what we like to do. But for now, I think you just need to be smart, listen, and wash your fucking hands, Next time, we'll be featuring a very disturbing story. Chris, this is from you.
Yeah, dude. I remember when I first saw this, I was like, ooh, this is fun.
This is a really wicked one. An Army soldier suffering from PTSD after coming back from Desert Storm ends up in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina.
Hangs out there through that.
Oh, my God.
Going to be fun.
He does some really crazy shit. He jumps to his death from a fifth-story hotel bar and leaves a note in his pocket for them to go to his apartment and go check out the refrigerator and the stove.
See what you find.
Yeah, his girlfriend might be there.
My old lady's home.
Pretty fucked up story. A crazy one about Zach Bowen. Really interesting. And Chris, this was one that you suggested. I checked it out and was just like, holy crap. So this should be good. And we're hoping that Brian Ward could be in here with us.
His job may or not, depending on how life goes.
Yeah.
His job may or may. Yeah, whatever. I quit talking.
Well, he's a jailer at a federal institution, and so with everything going on, his schedule's a little uncertain, and so that's where we're at with that. So hopefully Brian will be here. If he's not here, he's hoping he could at least Skype it in, so we'll get him on that. So I think either way, we're hoping that Brian's a part of it, but that should be really cool. Brian's a great guy, of course, from the Dark History and Horror Convention. So
The goddamn man. From
that's
the
right.
Goddamn Dark History.
That's
and Horror
right. With the
Convention.
cool serial killer tattoos
yeah.
too. So I think I hear that intro music in the background. I think it's probably CK.
It probably is that great metal motherfucker, dude.
That's
Fuck
right.
Yeah, Cashman, what you doing, bro?
Let's get our metal on.
Known the world over as the master of metal, the crusher of posers, and Murder Metal Mayhem's knower of all things metal, hailing from Wild Man Street in Danbury, Connecticut, standing at 6 feet of brutal, punishing madness, weighing in at 220 pounds of poser pulverization, the one, the only, toughest bastard on the planet, Chris C.K. Kovacs! Fuck yeah, man. Got the great metal motherfucker on the other end. What's going on, dude?
What's up, gentlemen?
What's quarantine life for you?
It could be worse, you know.
Same
They
as every
they
other
actually-
day.
They actually canceled my blood work for tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no shit.
But I
Damn.
was supposed to have an appointment on Friday, and they're doing a teleconnect where I do it online.
Wait,
Yeah, I
how
gotta
do you
do
do
that
blood
with
work
the-
online? You can't fax blood work. You
No,
can't.
not blood work. My appointment for Friday.
I'm like,
Yeah,
holy
that's how
shit.
my VA appointment is. My next one, they called me and said they were going to do it by phone. So it's weird.
You know, it's nuts. It's
It is.
crazy shit.
It is crazy. Now we got Joey Goremonger in here with us, CK, and CCK is donning a plague mask because he's fucking concerned.
Don't want none of that bullshit.
No, he doesn't need
Figured if
it.
CCK's got it, CK's good.
Right. He's
He's
guarding.
immune compromised too.
That's right.
Boom. Exactly. You were one. You were one with the CCK and the CK. They are one of the universe.
Well, CK, you picked a good band to do tonight. We're talking, of course, the Black Plague and talking about all this pandemic and fucking just crazy post-apocalyptic
death.
shit going on. So this is the perfect band, I think, to do for something like this.
If we talk about all this shit, you need a coroner. So
You
we're
do.
going to be talking about the Swiss band Coroner from
Nice.
Zurich, Switzerland. They were formed in like 84, 85, and they were formed because they were actually crew members from Celtic Frost.
Yeah, that's really a cool story, that the band's roadies
Yeah,
had
all
a
three
band.
guys were they were roadies or crew members, and so much so that Tom Warrior actually sang on the original demo to give him a hand. I remember reading about this band. I think it was like Metal Hammer. I think they had a demo section at the time. And I remember reading about this demo by a band called Coroner.
I used to love those demo reviews in the back of there, man.
I
Good ones
discovered
on
a
there,
lot of
dude.
bands from those.
Me too, brother. Back in the day.
You know, a lot of times I would send out for the demo. I didn't send out for this one for some reason, but I remember reading about how they formed. Tom Warrior sang on the demo, and they were signed to Noise Records. And their sound, you would think it would be more of a Celtic Frost type sound, but in reality, they were, to me, a much better band than Celtic Frost.
Yeah, I was never a
They
big
were-
Celtic Frost fan myself.
They were more of a thrash, progressive band. They actually returned with the rush of thrash metal. And eventually, Ron Royce, the bass player, took over as vocal. So they were a three-piece, and they had a wicked sound. And I remember reading that this album was coming out, No More Color, in '89, their debut. And I remember calling Phoenix Records like every day to find out if they had it.
Like, do you have this
The
album? I need
professor
to
up
get
there at
this.
Phoenix Records.
Yeah, because I knew like Record World, they would eventually have it.
Right.
But I was I
Oh, the
wanted to hear
professor
this band
always
so
got it
bad.
first, dude.
Yeah,
That's
and he
how
had
it
to,
was
like-
with Fatal Portrait. He called me and said, I got him, and I drove up there to Waterbury to get it. Yeah.
I remember getting that like a couple days before it came out.
Yeah.
And so he got No More Color on like a couple days before it came out. I remember going up there, getting it, coming home and listening to it. I was like, holy shit. This band is definitely killer. And those days, you would record the vinyl on a tape
Cassette, right.
to play in your car. I remember
Right.
playing that so much that I had to make a second version of it.
Nice. Yeah. Good stuff. But yeah, we all did it, man. Made the tape.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing you did so you could listen to it on the
Yeah,
go.
so you go to your car.
Yeah.
And I would never buy pre-recorded cassettes because most of them sounded like shit anyway.
Yeah, they were
And-
pretty bad.
And my tape recorder made such good copies that it was just like listen to, a really good copy. So I never bought that pre-recorded shit.
Right. I
It
had
is weird
I
when you
had
had
some.
to do shit like that though, like fucking like
Right.
okay, I got to buy this version of it so I could have it on this version
Right.
of it, so I could listen to it here.
Right.
Like
Now you got a
fuck.
phone, you just plug it in and take
Yeah.
it wherever.
You didn't even
It's
got to plug that
crazy.
shit no more in the right
True,
circumstances. You
Bluetooth-
just like
Bluetooth
Bluetooth, like
it, yeah.
But yeah, I'm like back in the
fucked,
day,
man.
like people talk about waiting for your favorite song on the radio or whatever.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
record that
Oh my
shit.
God.
Wait to hit record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, I used
go.
to do that. I used to fucking request songs like, will y'all play this one just so I could hopefully have it played in a timely fashion to record it, you know?
Right.
Or like, man, like I'm talking about when I was a kid, but like when Guns N' Roses first came out.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like Jesse's Girl or something like that.
But you know, they were on like Casey Kasem Top 40 at
Right.
some point, and you're like, okay, I know they were like number 5 last week.
Right,
So
right.
you're listening with your tape ready to try to get, Sweet
Right.
Child of Mine or whatever.
Right.
Like, dude, that's some shit that
Yeah.
kids nowadays they'll never
No
understand
idea.
that.
No idea.
That's just fuck.
And then you might record it. Then you might even have a little bit of the radio voice at the
Oh,
end
sure.
or something. You just
Yeah.
deal with it, you know.
Right.
Then in '91 they came out with their second album, Punishment for Decadence, and that was a bigger progression than the
That was
first album.
88, bro.
No, '89 was the first album.
Oh.
Oh wait, you're right. I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
Oh no! The gray metal motherfucker corrected by Chris.
Actually, I just want to make you guys feel good.
Just to test
That's
us.
what it was.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
to test
so,
us.
you know.
Yeah.
You passed the test, so you guys are good.
All right, cool.
Good.
All right, so 1988, they came out with the second album, Punishment for Decadence. It was a bigger progression than the first album. Definitely a little bit more intricate parts. And a little bit more different themes about politics and stuff like that. Then, in 89, they came out with the third album, No More Color. So you're talking about a band, 87, 88, 89. 3 killer albums in a row.
One right after another. Hell yeah. Which was the one, Cash was got a story, dude, about it that these guys, it's pretty badass, dude. Which album was that?
What?
Your Real Dad.
No, you're wrong.
No.
That's
my bad.
That's Holy Terror.
That's Holy Terror. My
which
bad.
we played in the bumper music earlier.
Right.
My bad. I'm a dick.
No, you're good.
I'm a dick. I got confused.
I'm sitting there like, dude, I have a story about
Okay,
Coroner.
you're forgiven.
No, I'm a dick. I fucked up. I knew we. Never mind.
No, to be honest, I don't even know that much about Coroner. The second album was, the first one that I got. So hearing it from CK right now is like the most I know about that band, really.
Right.
But they were really good, though. I did.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, 89,
And,
dude. I'm sorry.
89, No More Color came out. Again, another progression from the second album. And they just kept on getting better and better. Ron Royce started. His bass playing was really, really intricate. He had a different style where instead of using 2 fingers, he had a 3-finger style. And which enabled him. He was like doing double rhythms on the bass. Just sick shit. And then, as always, 91 Metal Vortex came out. You kind of saw him. The quality wasn't there. The songwriting wasn't as good as the first three. It was a decent album, but it definitely wasn't as good as the first three albums. I mean, the first three albums to me are just classics. And if you're looking for like technical thrash metal, those are probably the three albums you want to get.
Okay.
93, they put out their last album, which was Grin, and it was a total departure. It had some thrash elements, but 95, around that time, you had the influence of industrial music.
Okay.
And they were taking that influence and incorporating it into their sound. And
changing styles a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's not a horrible album. I mean, I could listen to it and still dig it, but it just wasn't to me the same band. And soonly after that album, they just broke up. I think they were broken up for about 14 years, and they came back together. I think it was 2007, 2008. 2005, they started to get back together. Did some shows, did some festivals and stuff like that. 2010, they reunited again after breaking up. Did the Maryland Death Fest, Hellfest Summer Open Air, and the Bloodstock Open Air, and they had no. They really weren't planning on putting out any albums or recording anymore. They just, at the time, didn't have the time.
Well, I mean, when you start up again and get back together and you're playing a bunch of shows, you ain't got a lot of time to do much.
True.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
The fans wanted to hear the classic
It's
shit
like, oh
anyway.
shit, they're together. Let's hear this fucking music.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
and I think these guys had families and real jobs. And,
Yeah, it's tough. You're not making any money.
And then in 2011, 2012, there was talk that they were going to record an album. The original drummer, Marquise Markey, left. They got another drummer in 2014. So that broke up the original band, because the original band was together for the whole thing, all three guys. I think in 2016, 2017, they put out a retrospective DVD set, which is impossible to find. And I don't think it's available in all regions, so if you do get it, you actually need a DVD player that plays all regions for it even to work. But it's impossible to find.
Nothing's impossible.
Well, if you don't want to pay a mass amount of money for it.
Well, I mean, that's definitely impossible. I ain't paying a shit ton of money for something.
No, I ain't paying no $100 for a fucking 3 DVD set.
Right.
As of 2020, nothing has been. Supposedly they're still together. Nothing about recording a new album. It would be interesting to actually hear what they would have come out as in 2020 or in the near future. Especially with all these bands reuniting from like 20, 30 years ago and just putting out killer stuff. Sacred Reich, Exhorter.
It's coming out with new shit that motherfuckers are like, yeah, that's what I've been missing. Fuck yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and schooling all the young kids on, this is how you fucking do it.
Right.
But,
Well, that's too bad. But you got a lost classic for us, though, one you dug out of your vault there to revisit.
well, I have a double one by the same band.
Oh, that's
Holy
right.
shit.
It's a band out of Massachusetts. They were around in the mid-'90s. A band called Only Living Witness. they weren't really metal. They weren't really hardcore. They were a crossover band, but not in the sense of crossover as a thrash crossover band. They had like kind of Sabbathy, fucking crunchy sound like Sabbath, but with a hardcore attitude.
I'm trying to.
And they were signed to.
I've never heard them, but I'm trying to envision that like Sabbath sound, but hardcore. I'm trying to envision that.
They got a. I mean, the stuff's available on YouTube.
All right,
So you
I'm
can
definitely
check it
checking
out.
that. Yeah, I've never even. I have no idea.
They were signed to Century Media. They put out 2 albums, Prone Metal Form, and then shortly after that, Innocence. And they are just. At that time, I was hooked because at that time, the scene was just. There's very few bands to get excited about, and this was one of them that I actually dug a lot. They eventually broke up, and they haven't really reformed or done anything as of lately. But
Well,
Century
still, that's
Media
what-
did put out. They did put out both albums on a 2 CD set remastered with bonus tracks,
Nice.
so that is available.
Nice.
That's why it's a lost classic. Because, dude, I have no idea who the hell this is, and I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Yeah.
Catchy songs, heavy. Jonah Jenkins has an awesome voice. I just really dug them a lot. They were different from what was going on at the time, which I liked.
Right. Right.
You ever heard him, Cashman?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
East Coast. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Massachusetts.
Yep.
Now, CK, we were talking earlier about this whole pandemic and the coronavirus thing, and of course, we've got a metal situation going on that I know we were talking about earlier. But what's going on with that tour over in Europe and these guys getting
Yeah,
sick?
these
Crazy, man.
Exodus, Testament, and
Death Angel.
Angel.
Yeah.
we're touring Europe, and
Yeah, like a Bay Area thrash thing going
yeah,
over
and
there.
they, looks like a couple of members from the bands caught
COVID.
the virus. Gary Holt got tested. As of now, he still doesn't know if him and his wife still had it,
Right.
or even had it.
Yeah, he's kind of recovering from it already, right?
Yeah. Will Carroll, from the drummer from Death Angel, is in intensive care. They haven't said if he has it or not, but most likely, I would assume that he does.
Yeah.
Chuck Billy and his wife were tested positive for it, and as of several crew members were also tested positive for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's pretty fucked.
Yeah, they canceled the last couple dates on the tour that were over actually in Italy. They were
Yeah.
like, fuck that. And they were all getting sick anyway, so they like went home. So kind of fucking crazy.
And I'm gonna throw something out here. Revocation is doing a really cool thing. They just put out a new design for a shirt. On the front, it has a skull with a mask on it, a surgical mask.
Right, right.
On the back, it says "Stay home."
Yeah, I saw
All
that.
proceeds
Oh,
are
I've
going.
seen that.
100% is going towards
Masks.
getting supplies to hospitals for nurses. Because I guess
That's fucking
one of the
cool.
members, his mother's a nurse.
That's a
So
good
anything
idea.
from anything that this shirt sells, the band doesn't get anything. It's being sold through a new merch store, Night Shift Merchandise. I just heard of them. I think they're brand new. They're out of Florida. I don't know if they're at the time if they're still open. I know Indie Merch has closed until the beginning of April.
Oh, wow.
So they're you could order stuff, but the orders are not going to go out until after they get back, which is going to be after April 6th.
Right.
But as far as I know, this other merchandising company is still open. If you order the shirt, 100% of the proceeds go towards getting supplies for these nurses. It's a really cool thing. So, if you have a couple bucks, it's a cool shirt. Maybe throw some support and buy the shirt.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. I think that is really cool. And I mean, we've been saying that about, supporting these bands that can't get on the road. Buy some merch, do what you can, especially the local bands. The local bands are, it's tough to survive in that market anyway, let alone when there's nowhere to go. Most of them are doing online, like Facebook Live shit, which is actually a good idea.
Chromax did a show last week. They were supposed to have a show. It was canceled. They just said fuck it and did it online.
Nice.
No, it's pretty badass.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I'd probably be doing the same thing. Now, I thought of an interesting idea, guys, for a new segment I wanted to do. And this goes back a ways to the Tim McClellan days. Of course, Tim McClellan, former guitarist of Low 12, died in 2002. And Tim and I used to joke around because he would say that when he would wear a shirt like, Cannibal Corpse or something more offensive, he always used to love it when he would get like this look of disgust, when he would go somewhere. And so he used to enjoy that when he had one of those looks of disgust moments. And so the other day I was walking over here to IGA and I wasn't thinking of it. I looked down and I got my fucking Dying Fetus shirt on, and I just thought, like shirts like that are funny when you're somewhere where like somebody really sits there and looks at it.
It's like, what the hell?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, I know I went to Dollar General one time and this lady was staring at me and it was freaking me out. I'm like, what the fuck are you staring at? And I got my Hannibal Lecter shirt on, and it's like the whole fucking front of the shirt. And with my fucking belly, that's a fucking hell of a fucking front of a shirt, is Hannibal Lecter's fucking face with the fucking mask on and shit.
I don't want you to take this offensively by any means, but we need to get you a shirt made with Joe Matheny like that.
Oh, dude, that'd be crazy, man. That would. Yeah, Joe Matheny shirt would be fucking sick, man. So, yeah, it's just funny that, you don't think about that when you're hanging around with your buddies. Yeah. And like Joey, I've seen you've been doing the thing on Facebook where people take pictures of their shirt that they're wearing. I think that's really cool, especially with everything going on. So I was just curious, what if you guys have had any. I mean, I'm sure we've all had thousands of them, but is there any one that jumps out at you as kind of a funny, you were somewhere and you had the wrong shirt on?
Wearing the fucking Cannibal Corpse.
Mine doesn't involve a shirt.
All right, go ahead.
But if anybody knows, especially my wife will tell you, when I'm driving in my car, my shit's loud. I got two subs in back. It's fucking loud.
What do you got in the back?
I got two 8-inches.
Oh man, dude, I got two 12-inch Fosgates with 13,000 watts of power, bro.
Well, I got a Fosgate system.
Right on. Hell yeah.
But
it's not hooked up right now though.
Mine is.
No, I just need to put a new inline fuse in is all.
But anytime I pull into like anywhere, I always get looks.
Right.
Especially if I'm playing like Cannibal Corpse or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, for
Dude,
sure.
we got this fucking we got this place we drive by all the time, like going to and from my work. And like last summer, they had a sign outside. They like had a big piece of like 4x4 cardboard and spray painted. Said "Turn the thumping crap down" on both sides. And now they got one that says brain aneurysm and one that says what? Fucking
turn down the bass.
Turn down the bass or something. It's hilarious.
Oh wow, Joey, have you had any that you could think of? Just I know you get probably a bunch with the shirts you wear.
There's plenty, but one that I could, that comes to mind that was pretty funny is my band Slaughter Farm Gangbang, which is just like ridiculous, music.
Right.
Goes along with the name. But the shirt we made had the logo on the front, but the back, real fucking big in pink and white, says "Bitch be high on semen."
Oh yeah.
And which was funny because when we were writing the CD, like my buddy Testes, he's a funny dude and shit, and he came over, he was hanging out. As soon as he walked in, we're like, "Hey man, we need a fucking name for this song." And the first thing came out of his mouth, "Bitch be high on semen," and it became the song and the title of the CD. But anyway,
Nice.
so we did the shirts, put that on there, and we all went to Bandana's barbecue here.
Oh, nice!
And we went there to eat. My buddy Matt had that shirt on, and when they seated us, they seated him so like his shirt was facing everybody else.
That's awesome.
But it was funny because at one point, like 3 or 4 of them came out of the back like cooks and shit, and they were like, "Bro, can they see your shirt?" Because I told them, what it said, and they all came and looked at it. So it wasn't like a negative thing, but
Right, that's funny.
Dude,
That's funny.
here's as fucked up as one of my shirt things. Same motherfucking shirt. The bitch be high on semen shirt. Fucking me, my dad, and my oldest daughter's mom, Kayla, fucking took the girls and Cole to the park. This is like when Cole was still younger and shit. Like, took him to the park. I got this shirt on, not even thinking about it, dude. Like, all right, cool. We got the kids at the park. And at the time where, where Rick, the restaurant across the street from Miller Park.
Yeah.
You remember when it used to be a store and there was a pop machine there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I'm walking across there. I got this shirt on, the bitch be high on semen shirt. Fucking, I fucking walk all the way across the park, all the way back. And when I get back, Dad and Kayla are both like, yeah, do you realize what shirt you have on right now? I'm like, I look down and fucking sure enough, it's Slaughter Farm Gangbang, the gory ass pentagram on the front. Fucking bitch, white bitch, and the rest of it be high on semen, or was it vice versa?
Whichever.
Yeah, but it's just huge as fuck. I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. So I fucking just go into the goddamn car. I was like, cool, I got a Goremonger shirt here. And sure enough, the Goremonger shirt I has on the top says "fuck the ass records" on. I'm like, it was nowhere near the size. Like, the size of that whole statement was the size of part of a letter on the other shirt. It was just like, I know I'm fucking, there's parents in that park looking at me walk through the park. Like,
Right.
what the fuck?
So I thought that would be funny. So any listeners that want to give us some good stories about these looks of disgust, whether it be like Joey's story, more funny than negative, whatever, just the tension you've gotten, good or bad, with your metal wares, I thought that would be cool. So anyway, we've educated these guys, I think, a little bit tonight on some metal.
I got one more thing I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, go ahead.
CK.
Yo.
Do you know Bill Reflin?
Yeah, he just passed away.
Of cancer, 59. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, 59.
He drummed
He was
for
a drummer.
King Crimson.
He's
Okay.
but
he also
kind of well-known drummer. He played with like a lot of different bands. Ministry being the biggest one.
Yeah.
REM, King Crimson.
He did a 9 Inch Nails for a little while.
Huh.
Yeah, 9 Inch Nails. He's very respected drummer. Yeah, he had cancer for a couple years, I guess. He just passed away today, so.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I figured you probably knew who that was, so.
Yeah, I'm a huge Ministry fan, so.
Yeah, me ttoo, man. That would be a cool one if you ever want to do that one for the metal section.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a good one. That's for sure.
Special all the different things they went through.
Yeah.
Special how they started out as a dance band.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, we've done our fair share of metal tonight. CK, what the fuck is coming up next, dude?
We are going to get our mayhem on.
Looking for a new career? Have you ever dreamed of hitting the open road and making a living driving a truck? Well, here at the Jesperson Truck Driving School, we can make that dream a reality in 6 weeks of training.
I went to the Jesperson School and I learned all kinds of things about lot lizards and how to tie up prostitutes and take them on the road with me.
That's because women love a man who can drive a big rig.
I took the advanced course. I learned how to tie a woman under my truck, and fuck, I ground her face and fingerprints off. I wasn't sure if I could do it, but the trainers at Jesperson made that shit simple as fuck.
Call us now, 1-800-KILL-THAT-SLUT, and ask about our Happy Face special going on this month. That includes your tuition, a coupon for an hour with a prostitute, a directory of lot lizards around the U.S., and a pair of handcuffs.
Thanks, Jesperson Truck Driving School.
I love that commercial. Oh, hell yeah. And before that, little Coroner, Reborn Through Hate, fucking brutal. And, of course, Jesperson Truck Driving School. Thanks for the ad, guys. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Got Joey Goremonger in here still with
here.
us. He's still staying strong. And got CK over there in Danbury, Connecticut. What's going on, CK?
What are you doing,
Not
bro?
much. Just hanging out under quarantine.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun shit.
Doing some mayhem now. Before we get to the big draw, which is the mayhem contest, does anybody have a brief mayhem story they want to share with us?
I got one.
You got one, Joey?
Yeah.
All right.
Always got one.
This one's pretty quick. The reason I remember this one is because I've noticed the gas prices have gone down.
Right.
Through all this bullshit, we got some cheap ass gas. So this reminded me back then, like when you could fill your tank
Yeah,
up.
but you got nowhere to go now.
Right.
Right.
No, you're right.
That's why it's cheap.
Yeah, by the time we can go somewhere, it'll be $6 a gallon for sure. But anyhow, so I remember back in the day, you can fill your tank up, with a $10 bill or whatever. And I had this truck, and
Was it the one that burned up?
you know what? It was the one that burned up. As a matter of fact, yes. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That was an awesome one.
Yeah, if you're listening to this story, it was that truck.
Yes, that's awesome.
But I don't know if you remember, Chris, back in Forest, back in the ski resort that is Forest. But you remember there was a gas station across from where the Casey's is now, K&S?
Yes, I do
remember
remember
that little gas station.
100%, yeah.
So anyway, this was an old gas station, been around forever. The pumps were really old and shit. But I would go there and fill my truck up because I knew the guys that worked there and stuff. And so we had this dog, and have your dog fucking cruise around with you, take it out in the country, drive around, I get high and shit.
That's what you do.
Yeah, I mean I was like 17. Dog was your pal. Fucking. So I'm at this fucking K&S and I fill up the gas tank. Fucking, especially like back then with the older pumps, if it fucking wasn't done, it would fucking leak out all over the fucking place.
Right. Oh yeah.
So I'm filling up my fucking gas tank.
Jesus.
Fucking fill it. Fucking got to pull the fucking thing out. It fucking spills all over. Dog jumps out of the fucking truck.
Oh shit.
Gets down, licks up all that fucking
Oh,
gas.
God.
Dude, it does fucking 3 laps around my truck and then just falls over.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
Hell yeah.
He just
That's
got out and
fucked
drank
up.
gas and died?
No, it fucking ran out of gas, you idiot.
I fucking hate you.
That was awesome.
I fucking hate
I'm
you.
so glad that worked because
That
that
was
could have been a
good.
waste of time if nobody would have caught that.
Oh, that's fucking
I
good.
fucking hate you.
I thought a little bit of humor,
That's
that was-
awesome, dude.
that
Yeah,
was
after
good,
talking about
dude.
the Black Death for an hour, that was pretty sick. All right, well, fuck yeah, guys.
Christ, dude.
Well, we got March Mayhem, round 3, the fucked up 4 going at it. We got 2 matches, Chris.
Yes, we
Who's
do.
in the first match
We
here?
got Carl Panjam and Richard motherfucking Speck, all titty boy.
And then Joey, we've got Eileen Warnos in the second one, and she's going up against the meek and timid.
Albert Fish.
Yeah, so that's
figured
kind of
that
an
one
odd
out.
one. I don't know what to make of this, but Chris, let's do what we do when we do this
I gotta find the
contest.
fucking goddamn temperature.
Not your battery,
Make sure it's not your battery.
not your
Yeah,
PSA
yeah.
score, or anything.
Shit. I mean, that's going to be lower than the temperature.
So remember, if it's an odd number, it's the first name. If it's an even number, it's the second name.
The temperature is 45 degrees.
So it's the first name.
Yep.
So it's going to be Carl
Panzram
Panzram
and
winning it, which
Eileen
would
Warnos.
definitely be the case if it was actually the, for real. That would be what we were saying. Definitely
Fuck,
Panzram
yeah.
would win. And then Eileen Warnos beats Albert Fish.
I mean, you might have two of the toughest some
Yeah,
No,
I
that
mean,
ain't no
legit.
bullshit.
That
That's
is a
like
hell
for
of a
real.
fucking contest with those two. So that will be our final. Will be
Yes, sir.
Carl Panzram versus Eileen Warnos. So very, very interesting, guys.
No, this is nice.
And so what I was going to tell the listeners is I've been looking at the at the names that we each picked, and to see was each of us still in the running. And coming into this week, each one of the three of us had a chance to win this thing. So we're playing for our listeners.
But that makes sense, though. There's three of us with an even number, so somebody's going to end up playing themselves no matter what.
Right. But, it's cool, though, that each of the three listeners are still in it. So that's really awesome as we're winding it down, because next week will be the final, Carl Panzram versus Eileen Warnos. And we are playing for, some listeners here, Chris. You're playing for who?
Man, it's not in my notes, and I'm sorry. Stephanie from Toledo.
That's right, from Toledo, Ohio. And then CK, who are you playing for?
I'm playing for Justin from Lexington, Illinois.
Nice. And I'm playing for Steven from Chicago. So those are our three listeners. They're all three in the running. Next week, when we have the final match, we'll be able to see who it is that is making it to the final. And
Two
then
motherfuckers.
It'll be it. And then when we pick that one, then that's when we'll know who wins this thing. So it's been really fun. And hopefully Brian Ward is able to make it, because that'll be cool to have Brian here with us doing this.
Bowden. Hell yeah.
So definitely. So I don't know, guys. I think we tore up some fucking mayhem tonight. So I think it's time to hit that fucking outro. Jesus Christ. I think that's from the Nemo 2 soundtrack, isn't that? Beneath the Massacre. What the fuck, man? That's fucking brutal, man. Treachery. Fucking sick, man. So we are in the outro. We got CK still here with us. Got Joey Goremonger here.
What is going on, guys? Hell yeah.
And we had a good episode, I think, tonight, guys. Definitely a sick one with the Black Plague going on.
Yep.
And all this pandemic business happening around us. So kind of a timely topic, I think.
We're just here to make people scared.
Yeah, well, I think we kind of hopefully made them laugh.
I hope so, too.
That's what I'm hoping. Because try to get away from this.
I laugh.
I laugh, too.
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off tonight.
Yesterday when I was pulling my dick out, I laughed.
Well, when you saw the size of it?
Duh!
Bumper music by Coroner, Holy Terror, and Beneath the Massacre. CK, your intro music by the band Whom?
None other than Crysis.
Fuck yeah. And Chris, our Murder Metal Mayhem music.
I remember now. Above 11.
Above 11. Little low 12,
Low
right?
12. Yeah, Michael had to remind me. He's like, dude,
That's
it's
so
above
funny.
11. I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
Right.
I was like, what you said.
He
couldn't
really
remember.
listens very carefully.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good. All right. Well, check out spellboundeffectsandart.com for their incredible online catalog of silicone body parts, hands, feet, fingers, whatever else you desire. Tony.
Fucking awesome quality, like movie quality, dude. Like,
Oh, it's freaking
Dude, the
fantastic.
cock looks so good.
the cock.
The cock.
love
is-
Yeah, Bob was like obsessed with that cock.
he bought it like
He
ASAP.
did.
Yeah.
He did. So, hey, whatever your thing is, he's got it. Human skin lamps, aprons. Of course, it's not real human skin, but it looks very fucking real.
Yeah,
The
you
cowboy
might think
hat,
so.
Chris. Dude, the cowboy hat in the pandemic is so fucking you, man. That's...
Yeah,
that would be
sweet.
so fucking sick, man. Show up to a parent-teacher conference.
What's up with my kid?
Mr. Shawback.
Do you know what happened to my kid's last
What
teacher
is the
that fucked
deal with
him?
that hat?
Yeah, you know what happened to my
Hey,
last
hey,
teacher's kid? Or the last kid's? Oh, either way.
So spellboundeffectsandart.com.
What up? Vic?
Are you homeschooling your kids? With all this shit?
Wait, I feel like this is a joke.
No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
All right, here's what's up.
Because
They-
luckily I don't have kids.
They
And if
are
I did,
at home being schooled, but they do not live with me.
okay.
They,
No, because I want to know if you had to do that new math shit.
man, I don't even do old math shit.
Yeah, I'm not a math person either, man. Fuck.
Because if I had kids, they'd be fucked.
Yeah, that shit sucked. I'm glad that my kids were right at the tail end of that, or the beginning of it. I didn't have to deal with
But
it.
no,
Thank
they
God.
are going.
Fuck
well,
that.
My oldest is
They,
done out of school, basically, anyways.
Right.
they would learn to carry that fucking one. I'll tell you that much.
Learn to carry the one, yeah. Fucking right. Hell
So
yeah.
thanks to everybody listening out there. We really appreciate it. Again, Texas is crushing it. Got 2 different cities in the top 10 cities listening. London is still listening. Canada, we really appreciate it, everybody. But Chicago's still dominating at the #1 spot. So thank
What's
you.
number 2?
Danbury, Connecticut. Fuck yeah. And
Yeah,
then
and they're
Bloomington,
six
Illinois.
Yeah.
I demand a
Neck and
fucking
neck.
I
recount.
fucking
Neck and
told
neck,
you,
man.
This shit.
But Dallas, Texas is #4 and closing in on both of us. So should be interesting. Now, Joey, we got some good comments here. You want to read that first one, dude?
Yep. Tony Slingerland says, the Spellbound Effects website you guys mention all the time is really great. A buddy of mine ordered one of those lamps and got it in less than a week. Sick as fuck.
Fucking
Nice.
A, man. Glad
Yeah.
you got a lamp, dude.
Yeah.
The lamps are
These
great.
things are gnarly, man.
Yeah, really good
like-
stuff.
Like, I want one for FTA for the fucking spot.
Yeah.
But that's something I'll be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Anything that if I get something from Tony, I just want it to have a working vagina. That's my only
Dude,
stipulation.
well, that's what I was saying last week. Like, why doesn't it have an open mouth wall? Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
All right, CK, you read the next one, dude.
Sure. Amanda the Sick commented, thanks for making my time stuck at home so much better. You had me and my roommate laughing all day yesterday. Love the show. We're in Austin, Texas. Fuck
Texas.
yeah.
Awesome. Thanks,
Texas,
Amanda.
thanks for Texas. Amanda,
Texas
fuck
is
yeah.
killing it, man. Chris, you want to read the next one, dude?
Andre Roth, 683, says, those commercials you guys do are fucking hilarious. Do more, please. Well,
We
ironically,
did.
we just recorded
We just
We
did
did.
some.
3 or 4 more tonight.
We did 3 more commercials
3
and then
more?
a bunch of intros.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was 3 commercials.
Yeah, so we got some good
we
ones.
got
man.
some
The
coming up
laughs
for you.
keep coming.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
and we did a little spin off of the Benoit Anger Management that I think you
that-
guys are gonna like.
It's a LLC.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll
So
call
they're
it
branching
LLC.
out. So it's fucked up. It's a good one. And then CK, you did the Callinger shoe repair, which was nice.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And we did the Copeland Farms
Copeland
commercial.
Farms,
So
fuck yeah.
yeah, good stuff. So you guys will hear those coming up. All right, and Joey, you want to read the last one there, dude?
Yeah, 44 Kill a Fool.
Kill a fool.
I think he knows G Money.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He
It's
commented.
his manager.
Yeah. His landlord for his new place. It's a trap house.
It's a trap. Legit trap.
44 Kill a Fool. We ain't talking shit. Don't come kill us, please.
Right.
But he did say, how the hell does Albert Fish keep winning in
Word.
the contest? No way.
Not anymore.
Not no
Yeah,
more.
not anymore.
Out
Fish
now.
is done. So it's Panzram and Warnos. It's so fucking cool the way it turned out. All right, so don't forget to check out murdermetalmayhem.com. Listen to all the podcasts and bonus content. Also, go check out Murder Metal Mayhem on YouTube and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Get Your Murder On and like us on Facebook. Join that 666 Club. Support the podcast. And as I mentioned, anybody that's lost a job with all this pandemic stuff going on, you're stuck at home, email me at pete@murdermetalmayhem.com and we'll comp you a free 6-month subscription to the 666 Club.
You'll get 7 months for free if you send a dick pic with it.
Oh, not to me. No, thanks. I'll forward it to you, Joey. Damn.
Yeah. You get all the dick.
So don't miss next week. We're going to feature Zach Bowen and his crazy story, Chris. Madness, suicide, and cannibalism. Sounds like a good time.
There might have been drugs involved.
A little
too.
bit of drinking, too. A little bit.
Hey, is that a fucking throw at
No,
me?
no, it's not. I'm hoping you're not jumping out of a 5-story building
hell no.
and cooking your girlfriend on a stove. So
I might cook my girlfriend on a stove, but I ain't jumping out of a 5-story building.
it's definitely going to be a sick one. We're going to be revealing the winner of the March Mayhem contest. It's going to be awesome. So good luck to Justin, Stephanie, and Steven. You guys are all in it. Since I did my special parody song last week, got a few good comments on that one about the pandemic. We thought, why not? Let's just do another version or another play of that one since we're doing the Black Death episode. So here it is again, My Corona. So check it out. And until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And one hand just giving the Black Death to everybody because you don't care.
I'm running hot, 99 degrees, yeah, my Corona. Oh, you make me puke, puke in my brains, oh, my Corona. Stomachy, got the chill, stop pouring out, yeah, wipe my ass doors out of the toilet paper. Yeah, whoa, my Corona. Come a little closer. Don't wear a mask, close so I can infect you with Corona. Fever and chills get to me. Sweat is pouring down my face. My Corona. Stomachy, got the chills, stop pouring out. Can't wipe my ass doors out of toilet paper. Yeah, wow. My Corona. My Corona.
Mother, man.